All right, click the links for Odysee, BitChute, or join the Discord and the Gab. If you want to know how a story gets absolutely buried in the media, and by what I buried in the media, I mean lack of impressions the time somebody comes across a story. This story came out. You search one of the names on Twitter, and you'll see some media will report it, and it'll get like 19 views. This is a school incident of people being deleted in a school. So why didn't the media cover it? This is the perfect storm. The father of the shooter is an illegal alien. The two shooters are trans. That's kryptonite. That's absolute kryptonite to the story. Oh, if you want to search Twitter and you're having a hard time searching it from an outsider, because I don't have a Twitter account, you can use Dolphin Zero, and it will allow you to. For some reason, it's like a little bit of a loophole. So, school shooter who targeted transphobic classmates sentenced to life in prison. This, I believe, I'm not sure if this is the biological male or the biological female. I'm not 100% sure. There's a bio male, a bio-female, back in the old days. We just called them men and women. One is a biological female who identifies as a male, so they used male pronouns in court. So then the other one must have been the opposite. So then it got I'll use a biologically correct pronoun so it's we can be clear. She got sentenced to prison. She's, of course, going to a female prison because, let's keep it 100 here. What would happen if a biological woman, went to a male prison? Like the trans thing is all well and good. It's like biological men want to go to women's prisons because they're not stupid. They know things are going to be, if you're a man in a woman's prison, you don't have to snuggle anyone. I don't think that's even on the table. It's like, I think you kind of got your choice. Like, I think there'd be women lining up to sample your wares, and you can get condoms in prison. So how great is that? Condoms and lube in prison. That's how do you know you live in clown world? Well, open up your web browser. So Devon Erickson was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. That probably means they'll get parole. Former high school student who was charged with opening fire alongside a transgender accomplice. So wait, is only one transgender? I think they're both transgender. On transphobic classmates. It's like, what does it take to be transphobic? Well, here's the thing with the trans community. Like, people who don't live in, like, I don't know what to call, like, I'm San Francisco, LA. Very familiar with the BLT community. People who are not familiar with it kind of lump them all into degenerates, and it's not really fair to do that, because there's a that gay lesbian community that is just a normal community, believe it or not. And even I don't know how far I can go on YouTube. They look at they're looking at the LGBT. That, for some reason, that's hard for me to say. That's why I say BLT. It's faster. And they're trying to get rid of the T. That's why there's a super gay, super straight community, and there's a bunch of other things. Like, they're trying to get rid of the T because it's just too far out there. And the thing is, there's a lot of mental illness, sociopathy associated with the trans community, and that's not, I don't know, YouTube hate speech. That's a fact. That's a well-known fact. You can check it out. So they're trying to distance themselves from people who are like, you're going to bring the whole group down. So they're trying to say, like, this is just the gay lesbian community. It's not the trans community. Where's I going with this? I don't know. So they're convicted on 46 counts, including first M1 back in June. So Erickson and Maya Alec McKinney. Okay, so that's the biological woman who is going to a female prison. Shot a student permanently and wounded 8 others when the pair executed a plan to delete the movie-watching classmates inside the classroom. The two mass shooters plotted the fatal shooting just 3 days before graduation and entered through separate doors to maximize the number. Gee, I wish a teacher had a 45. Could have stopped them, like a freedom, a liberty device on the hip to making a focus to stop the bad guys. But no, this is America, so that's what's allowed in Israel is not allowed in America. So they're thinking like one would delete the other, so it would be like a victim hero scheme. Except that's not really heroic because you're one of the shooters. So I'm not sure how that, unless it's a murder suicide, which would have been a great idea. But I guess we're not. It's kind of hard to pull the trigger at the end of that decision, probably. So then 16-year-old. So this is the one, McKinney, whose father's an illegal alien. Hold on, let me look up that. Okay, what I meant by this is the media reports this stuff, and you see it's got like 120 comments and 200 hearts. That is very, very low. New York Post, 7 hearts. Heavy.com, 130. This is CBS. See how many coming up with 17. This is when a story is shadow banned. CBS Denver 4. What this means is where they're going to show the father. What this means is the story is nobody else is retweeting it and picking it up because it's not politically correct. So if you're like, there's a lot of people in the media, the blue checkmark media, the individual writers and stuff who will retweet stories. They're not retweeting these stories so it doesn't get the impressions. This is getting less than 1% of the coverage it should be getting. Okay, so here we are. Father of the shooting suspect, Maya Alec McKinney, is a Mexican national. Don't let that last name fool you. Suspected Colorado school shooter's dad was deported twice. History of domestic violence. This is why the mainstream media dropped the story, which actually is a pretty good name for a video title. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. You know, I used to discourage people from joining the Discord unless they were like coming from BitChute, because BitChute is already kind of a pre-selected hardcore audience. But you know, now it's just like, check it out. If it's not your cup of tea, then go somewhere else. You know, if you're gonna have discussions, then all things are going to be discussed, and that's what Discord is good for, until we get kicked out of Discord. My point is, subscribe to people on multiple platforms so you can keep in touch with them, because there may be a time in the future when you want to keep in touch with people. That's why Gab is a very good backup. Just at least get your thing started on Gab and start following people, that kind of thing. Anyway, I will see you guys all next episode.